SpaceX is deleting half of its rocket engine. The Raptor 3, set to fly on Starship Flight 12 from Starbase this month, produces 50 tons more thrust than the engine it replaces. And the path to that thrust ran in the opposite direction from every aerospace textbook. Conventional doctrine says more thrust costs more complexity. More pumps, more sensors, more thermal management, more avionics, more shielding. The relationship is supposed to be one-directional. Capability buys complexity. Raptor 3 points the other way. When SpaceX revealed the engine on the 2nd of August 2024, the first photograph showed something the engineering community did not recognize. There was no engine heat shield, no fire suppression system behind the bell, no external pneumatic plumbing wrapping the power head, no visible secondary instrumentation bundle. The engine looked unfinished. The head of United Launch Alliance, Tory Bruno, said as much on the same platform within hours. He called it a partially assembled engine. He said the comparison to Raptor 2 was misleading. He said the controllers, fluid management, and thrust vector control hardware were missing from the photograph. 5 days later, Gwynne Shotwell posted a photograph of the same engine firing at full power at McGregor, Texas. Her caption ran 6 words: "Works pretty good for a partially assembled engine." The parts Bruno expected to see were not missing. They were inside the engine. SpaceX moved the secondary flow paths into the structural walls. They extended regenerative cooling, with methane circulating through machined channels to the components that used to require external shields. The white frost in the second McGregor photograph was ice forming on chilled, methane-cooled exterior structure. Where Raptor 2 carried a heat shroud and the 10 or more tons of fire suppression hardware sitting behind it, Raptor 3 carries integrated cooling circuits running through the metal itself. In SpaceX's Test Like You Fly documentary, released on the 24th of April 2026, the engineering team puts the point flatly. The level of integration is unique for a rocket engine. Fewer parts is cheaper and faster to build. The effect is a higher reliability design. The mass numbers say the rest. Raptor 2 weighs 1,630 kilograms per engine. Raptor 3 weighs 1,525 kilograms. That is the engine alone. But the integrated burden each engine adds to the booster, counting vehicle side propellant lines, harness runs, shielding, and fire suppression, dropped from 2,875 kilograms on Raptor 2 to 1,720 kilograms on Raptor 3. Across 33 booster engines, that is a saving of more than 38 tons of dry mass eliminated from the first stage. The reduction comes from deletion, not from heavier turbo machinery or higher chamber pressures. Raptor is the third rocket engine in history designed with a full-flow staged combustion cycle. The first was built in the Soviet Union between 1962 and 1970. 6,000 kilonewtons of thrust, hypergolic propellants, 27 full test fires. It never flew. The cycle was too complex, and the rocket it would have powered was canceled before integration. The second was the Integrated Powerhead Demonstrator, run by the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory with NASA and the contractors that became Aerojet Rocketdyne. In the mid-2000s, hydrogen and oxygen powered the tests. The team built the front end, the pre-burners, and the turbo machinery, and ran it at full power across 26 tests at NASA Stennis. They never finished the engine. Funding ran out before the main combustion chamber could be attached. It is the first one to leave the ground. The reason this cycle matters for reusability sits in the turbo machinery. In a full-flow staged combustion engine, both propellant streams pass through their own pre-burner, one fuel-rich and one oxidizer-rich. Both are fully gasified before reaching the main chamber. Each turbine runs cooler than in a single shaft cycle because the energy is spread across the entire propellant mass flow. Cooler turbines run longer. That is the closed cycle efficiency margin that gives Raptor both the specific impulse and the turbo machinery longevity to target aircraft-like reuse. In the Test Like You Fly documentary, the framing is explicit. The goal is to get the engine to behave in a similar way to the engines on commercial airplanes.
The other engine in the conversation is the RS-25. NASA's expendable fuel-rich staged combustion hydrolox engine was originally built for the space shuttle and now flies 4 at a time on the Space Launch System for Artemis. The NASA Office of Inspector General put the cost for the first 16 new production RS-25 engines under the Heritage contract at $581 million. The same report identified an additional $2.3 billion in restart and overhead costs not captured in the per-engine number. New production RS-25 engines are reported to cost in the range of $100 million to $146 million each, depending on how the overhead is allocated. Raptor 2 in 2022 cost SpaceX approximately $500,000 to build. Raptor 3 is reported to be cheaper still, though SpaceX has not published a specific figure. In November 2025, Elon Musk stated on X that Raptor 3 would be 2 to 4 times better than Merlin in dollars per ton of thrust. Merlin is the engine on Falcon 9. As of the start of May 2026, Raptor 3 had not yet flown. It is scheduled to do so on Starship Flight 12, with Booster 19 and Ship 39, in a launch window opening the 12th of May from Starbase, Texas. Around 600 Raptor 2 engines were built before it. The 33 booster engines and the 6 ship engines, 3 sea level and 3 Raptor vacuum, together produce enough thrust to lift the largest object humans have ever attempted to fly. The decision sitting underneath Raptor 3 is not a thrust decision. It is a maintainability decision. SpaceX is not optimizing the engine for a single mission. The engine is being optimized for the 100th flight of the same hardware, where every bracket and harness and external sensor is a part that has to be inspected, replaced, or trusted between launches. Deletion is the only path to that future. The engine you can reuse fastest is the engine that has the fewest components to check. SpaceX has stacked counterintuitive engineering decisions across the Starship program. Hot staging is firing the second stage engines while they are still attached to the booster. There is no launch abort tower on a human-rated vehicle. SpaceX plans to catch a 14-story booster on a tower instead of landing it on legs. Refueling spacecraft in orbit before they leave Earth is part of the architecture. Which of those decisions should be examined next? The hot staging ring, the catch tower trade-off, the deleted launch abort system, or the orbital refueling architecture? Leave the call in the comments. The engine deletion is the start of the story, not the end.